I've got a Nintendo Switch OLED version today with an interesting problem. It has no sound, and if we go here and hit the volume button, you will see why. It is because it thinks that there is a headphone device plugged in, and what that is going to do is tell the speakers to turn off because it's routing the sound to the headphones. But if the headphones aren't there, of course, you're not going to hear anything. And if we take a closer look, we can see, might not be able to do it under this camera. So here's a slightly better view, and as you can see, we do in fact have the entire plug still connected on the inside. This little metal piece is a little bent. That's actually part of the jack that you're seeing at the bottom. But there's just not a whole lot of anything to grab onto here. Now, there used to be some methods you can use, like a small straw. Sometimes you can push down inside and get around that, but I don't think that's going to work on this one. Alright, so we've got this headset game card reader daughter board out, micro SD as well, all built into one there. You can see it connects right here to the main board. And we'll take a closer look at this, but like I said, I don't think we're going to be able to force that out without causing damage to this. Let's get under the scope. Alright. So, as I said, we can't really come in from the bottom because of all this. We want to be careful of these things because if we end up taking this whole thing out, we're still going to need to make sure that it functions. You know, I can get in here behind this though, so that's kind of helpful. So this is not really damaged, and if it was bent a little bit, we can always bend it back. In fact, I think we might just pull this up for a sec, see if we can get in here to grip something. Yeah, there's not a lot to get a hold of, but let's take a comparison here. This is what the jack looks like, or supposed to look like. And underneath this little piece here, we do have a solid piece of plastic. You can see behind here, there's actually plastic down in there, so that's part of the jack itself. So what they're prying against here isn't going to do you any good. Alright, let's get this thing stabilized. And we'll put some leaded solder in here just to soften things up. Because I don't want to have to heat this so much that it might start making other things fall off. And with some leaded solder in here, we should be able to get this to move at about 290. And that way, our surrounding components hopefully won't fall off. That's the idea. And get a little more airflow. And keep an eye on this, see what it takes, soften it up. Probably could go a little higher. I do this when I'm trying not to melt plastic. Yeah, I think we can go a little higher than 290. Let's go like, I'm gonna go 320. Let's get this thing off a little quicker. That's probably the minimum you want to use. If you went a little higher, it would be faster. But we don't want to have any issues with anything close by. You see, that's definitely hot enough, but I need to keep it spread out. Not worried about the warranty stickers, obviously. Well, I think we might have to go a little higher here. There we go. Alright, that got it. This thing cleaned up. If I can find my wick. Oops. Just lifted a cap. See that? That's no good. Let's put that dude back. Okay, right there. That's what you want to avoid, and I was worried so much about the air, ended up doing it with the wick. So, I need this to come off. Are you really stuck on there? Gosh, dang it. Alright. Let's do this. Come on. So it was not the hot air that was the issue here. It was my iron. And actually, let's touch this up with some lead. Get the rest of this off. Come on. Right. Just gonna add a bit here. Melt that in. So we got something easy to work with. Get this dude back on. And adjust my air back down so I don't blow it off the board. There you go, right there. And that should be good. If it isn't, just make sure. Alright. That will be fine. I'll clean this up a bit. Clean that up more afterwards once we get this guy installed. I think we can just hold it there. That should be fine. Need to get some solder on the iron though. Okay, you stay there, like that. Okay, I think he's on. Really don't need these. That should do it. Just clean this up. Try not to get any flux inside the headset jack. And we'll get this back together. Make sure he's working. Okay, so we've got this back together, and you can see our volume is back to the speaker, and we have sound.